is what it is. I got to make a living. Okay. So my name's Ken Finnan, and my job is to get you past all the exams. And the number one question I get before I do my live, so I'm hoping to save some time and make it less chaotic, is what do I do? I'm taking the test tomorrow or 2 weeks or whatever it is. So let's, first of all, if you're taking it tomorrow, too late, you're fucked. Okay. No, I'm kidding around. Get some sleep. If you're taking it tomorrow, you should not be on my live. You should be getting sleep and you should be going over customer accounts. Literally any exam you take, literally any exam, you should probably read customer accounts. I have crash course videos you can watch, playlists you can watch. Go watch those and get some sleep. If you have a significant other, make sure they do the right thing or ask them to do the right thing. And you don't want to make them do anything, but you ask them. Just massage. That's all I'm talking about. Just keep it relaxed. No fighting, stuff like that. Now, if you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so if you're taking it tomorrow, what are you doing out here? Get off here, click and get out of here. If you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so let's say you're taking it in 2 days. Tomorrow is no testing. It's adding knowledge, reading customer accounts, going over videos, hopefully my crash course videos or others. Bottom line is you don't want to stress yourself out. You don't want to take a test. I'm not a fan of testing. Some people like it. I disagree with it because if you go bad, there's no upside. If it goes bad for you, you're screwed. So I say, don't take a test tomorrow. Take it easy. Around dinner time, you're done. I don't care if you're taking the test at 5 o'clock at night. At dinner time, you're done. Okay? Don't do anything. Again, the night before is always kind of go out to dinner. Don't go, pounding, going fireballs, but just literally go out to dinner maybe. Talk to people who aren't involved in it, who don't care about the test, don't want to hear it. You want to do stuff that just relax you. If you have SDC or Notman, they have these little sheets that you can go through. Maybe the day before, make sure you go over it like hot sheets or key topic stuff or crunch time facts. Again, I have crash course playlists, a whole playlist on almost every test you can take. Now, let's say you're taking it more than 2 days out. So what you want to do is within the up to, but not including the last, I don't even know if that's right. The last 8 to 10 days is testing. Okay. Before that, you're reading and quizzing and testing, all that. A lot of focus on reading, mostly focus on reading, watching videos, adding knowledge. But in the last 8 days, not including the day before, so whatever that is, so 10 days before, you're going to take tests every day. One test, not two. If it's a 63 of the SIE, maybe you can take two. But again, I don't think it works so well. Oh, I feel the heat on my back. I really just want to turn around and take a dive. The problem is when I go in there, there's a manatee warning. The boats have to go around me. I have to wear a flag saying manatee, don't hit me, stuff like that. Now, up to but not including the day before the test, you are to take one final a day. Now, remember something. When you do a final, review the whole thing, not just the wrong answers. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of do a triage. There's really 3 or 4 choices. You look them over. If you got it right for the right reason, you're good. Move on. Make sure you read the answer why, okay? 2, if you got it right for the wrong reason, mark that down. You have to review it because if you got it right because you guessed, that's just as bad as a wrong. Almost more dangerous, right? Because you think you got it. 2, if you got it wrong because you misread it, which happens with Kaplan, Past Perfect, STC, even Achievable, all of them, you can misread it. If you get it wrong because you misread it, but you knew the concept, don't worry about it. The last one is you got it wrong because you didn't know your shit. That you have to review. So really, you're going to have 4 choices, mark them all. And then if you got it right for the right reason or wrong because you misread it, but you understand the concept, don't worry about it. The ones you have to review are the ones you got right for the right reason. And then the ones you got for the wrong reason, the ones you got for the wrong reason. See, when I talk too fast, my brain is here, my mouth is here, and they're not in conjunction. And then ones you got right for the wrong reason, like guessing, and then you got to be honest with yourself. Don't be like, oh, I think I know it. Or the ones you got wrong for the right reason. I guess the right reason to be wrong, you don't know it. If you're starting to memorize questions, buy another QBank. STCS 4 supplemental exams. If you want, buy Kaplan. But again, you don't want to add a new QBank in the last few days. You want to do it out so you can literally get used to the question because you don't want to switch it up the day before. Again, you need to go in there like a badass. You need to go into the test like I'm going to fucking own this shit and you're going to run it, okay? You got to go in there confident. You got to understand that if you go in there confident, if you go into this test as a confident badass, not cocky, confident, I know my shit, then when you see a hard question, you're going to go, oh, I can do this, okay? And you can work through it or even mark for review, shit like that. If you go in there where you're not sure and you're like, oh, I'm afraid, then every hard question is going to look to you like, see, I knew I should have waited. And that's a bad thing because you won't try it. I've seen that so many times where if you give someone positive confirmation of good work, they're willing to work a little bit harder on the question. If you're like, oh, I'm not ready, they go, oh, I knew I wasn't ready. They give up. We don't want give up. We want you to attack it like you know your shit. Okay. And that's literally it. You maybe want to watch some of my exam walkthrough videos, join my live, but not the night before. I don't want to see you the night before. I want to see you after you pass so we can play a song for you and blow it out your ass. Okay. Good. Okay. Everyone, go beat this thing. You got this. I believe in you. I 100% believe in you. And you need to say every morning, get up in the morning, brush your teeth with your offhand, even if you want to brush your teeth with your foot, and keep saying, I'm going to pass this. I'm going to pass this. Say it like 10 times with confidence. Not I need to pass it. Not I got to pass it. I'm going to pass it. That's your goal. Go beat this thing. We got it, baby. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Thursday, NASAA night, baby. Okay. Everyone, welcome on. It's Ken Finnan. Yes, you already know who I am. And Capital Advantage Tutoring and Jeff Gitlin from Capital Advantage Tutoring. And we are going to help you get past the 65, the 66, and the 63 tonight. Remember, tonight's NASAA night. We celebrate all wins, but tonight the questions are all NASA related. So not rocket scientist, ha ha ha. It's more just NASA for the state stuff. Couple quick things. I'm going to do it super quick. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. If you need tutoring, check out Capital Advantage Tutoring at series7exam.org. If you need help, email Jeff at the thing scrolling across the bottom, Jeff at Capital Advantage Tutoring. He can walk you through everything. I have memberships. Now, guys, the only ones you guys should be joining is the Serious Study Group. That's Serious Study Met. That's $25 a month if you do it on a laptop. If it's on your phone, if you join on your phone, Apple adds like 30%, which is a ripoff. We meet every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern because only Eastern counts. We do an hour. It's a Zoom group between 5 and 15 people every week. It's great. People come on. They tell us, they give us feedback, not answers from the questions, from the tests, and they go like that. A good free resource is the Facebook group that we have, which is amazing. It's right here going across the bottom now. The Finner NASAA Exam Test Prep Network. It has 7,600 people in it. It is so active. I mean, I would post people passing all the time, but it's all the time. It is literally every day. There's 3 or 4. I comment. I get little GIFs, whatever. It's a GIF or a GIF. I have no idea. I say congratulations, and they give feedback to each other. It's amazing. It's such a great group, and they have study groups for every single class, and we have a private chat, and it's private. You got to get. They do it to keep the spammers out because you don't want people spamming you, and people can't see that you're in there, which is awesome. Okay. Now remember, I have 2 tutors on there. I'm adding 2 more next week, especially one for the 79, which is not here. Secondly, if you do need tutoring and we don't have any openings, or you just want another kind of voice, check out Michael Weiss over at series7examtutor.com. He's outstanding, especially for the 65, 66. And I think he used to be cheaper than me, but he's not so cheap now. But he's solid and he's good at what he does. Okay. And there we are. Okay. Anything to add, Jeff?
Okay. No, that's somebody has to be part of the Facebook group, so I don't know if you have that link.
Okay. I know. Let me get that link.
I put my information in there. If anybody's any questions, want some guidance, anything like that, you can email me. Happy to speak to you on the phone also.
Right.
In addition, I posted the link to the memberships there also if you want to go that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's much better at doing the link stuff than I am. Now, this is the group, and I don't think Jeff's too cool for Facebook, so he doesn't come on. Here's the link for the Facebook.
I like to pretend that I'm younger than I am and say I'm not a face,
Who just did I?
Whoa!
That wasn't supposed to be there. That's a long. That's don't do that one. That's just rude. That's from my Here we go. Let's see if it works this time. Still no. That's crazy. Let's see. I wonder why that's doing that to me. That's funny.
Huh. I was going to say that's the longest question in history you've ever had.
I know. I don't think anyone else could do it. I don't think anyone else could do that. That's crazy, right? Hold on. I wish I knew how to undo that, right? I think I can delete it, but let's see. There we go. Okay. So I wonder why this isn't working. Let me just grab the link then. Share, invite. Nope. Share. Oh, I see. I knew what I did. I kept share now. I know I kept doing. Okay. Now I got it. Boom. There it is. There is a link for the Facebook group after fucking 20 minutes. Bakes, thanks for joining the membership. Boom. You're going to, that's the other thing. So if you join the older ones, I think I can undo that, right? Yeah, no, I can't. There used to be a way to delete the chats, but whatever. Okay, that's a long ass question. So now, makes it look like I'm more popular anyway. The Facebook group is awesome. There you can join it, and it's you just join up. Once you answer a couple questions to get in to make sure that you're actually not spam, we go from there. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, second attempt at the 7. Okay, Cameron, thank you for coming on. Okay. Oh no, that's awesome. Hey, look. 3 more chapters. Okay, game plan is to start practice exam. This works, right? This is for any exam, not just for the 7. Get through the book, get through the chapter quizzes, then start doing finals, and then you're gonna rock this thing. Okay. Oh, Cameron, Gordo, Tex-Mex, you're in great place. Okay. By the way, that is awesome. Congratulations. And L skills here, I'll get to you. I have my 63 sponsored by employee next week or so. I went to okay. Okay, so. By the way, congrats on the 7, okay? I don't know if we did this before for you, but we'll do a real quick one. I'm up. I started late, so I'm going to try to not go too crazy on this stuff. We'll stick with just a good vibration. So now, it'll be like the speed thing. Okay. So, yeah, get the 63, okay? Get that done. And then here's the thing. I get shit for this all the time, but I don't give a shit. Like, they say you don't listen to people who you'd never take advice from. So that's my thing. So here's my thing. If the 65 has more overlap with the 7 than the 66. So if you have the 63 already, then I would say go for the 65 since you just hit the 7, there's more overlap. Again, you don't have to. You can do the 66, it's one test. But the 65 does have more overlap with the 7. Okay. Okay. Now, I think that works. So this is what the better one. Pass the 63, then come on and we'll talk. So I'm a big fan of not thinking past the next game or the next test because you get fucked up that way, right? So you don't want to do that. Also, it's funny, guys, if you're ever bored and you want to watch other type of stuff I have, I'm on Instagram under Series 7 Whisperer, and I'm TikTok under Series 7 Whisperer. You know my Series 7 video, Jeff, that I put out where I took the test online? It's doing okay here. It's at 60,000 views on TikTok already. That's crazy. It's been like a week and a half. Yeah, I know, but it is. Nobody's doing it there, so it's like it's kind of like whatever. And a lot of people are commented just say on this side of TikTok. I think they're doing it so they don't get the dancing girl videos, so which is counterintuitive to what I think, but that's okay. Now. Okay. Now, what would I put on the dump sheet? I have a video for that, but really, again, what's interesting? I'll do this, I'll answer this because technically, I think if you're taking the 65 or the 65, you can probably have a very similar dump sheet to the SAE. I would for sure, and then you have to add your own shit into it. I have a video on this. Options box, just to have it. The bond triangle, maybe slobs over bliss, maybe the current yield formula. And really, anything else you want to put on there, like maybe you remind yourself that treasuries are 30 seconds. I don't know. I mean, then the next thing, it depends on where you are. No, but my big thing is for any test, this is what I'm a big fan of. When you sit down, when they start letting you write it, you write the word accept right on top. EXCEPT, accept or not or whatever it is. So this time, every time you see an accept question, you take your hand off the mouse and put it on that word. It sounds so goddamn fucking stupid, but it works because then you don't forget that it's an accept question, and then you also start looking for it. That's the big thing, is you start looking at those. That's what I like this one better. Okay, so you start looking for those questions so that you miss them less. The worry is that you go, I'm going to think they're exception, they're not. But it doesn't really happen because you have to see the word to put it on there. And the one thing about the 63, sometimes they do double negatives. So I kind of use my finger. I go, okay, yes, no, yes. So I know where I am all the time. I like visual stuff to keep myself straight. Like I can do stuff in my head. Like I can do some math in my head and all that, but I much rather have it written down or use my hands to remind me of stuff. Okay. Oh, Jake, you're probably gone already. Boom, boom, boom. I love it. 2 out of 2, baby. Now, I assume you have the SIE already. I hope you're killing it. I mean, if a couple of weeks ago, you should be up to $1 million, $2 million management by now, don't you think? I mean, that's probably where we are. This kind of world. Okay, that's awesome. Hey, by the way, Jake, any advice on when people start with this? If you're still on here, you might not be because it's been 11 minutes. And thank you for calling me the goat. I'm just okay. So now, if you have any advice for people who are working, I know you've only been there a couple of weeks, but like anyone who's been doing this, some people like that when they come on, I like to ask them, what have you been doing? Is there any advice you can give to someone who just passed their exams? So I know it's still early, but have you any advice to give to people who are starting out? Okay, here we go. Gear grinder, baby. Okay. Christy, you're up next. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. So do you see how there's a percentage of 66.88? The only people that have that are Kaplan. So that's Kaplan for you. So now
they actually go to the 100th of a point on how you score.
Yeah. And you know, it's weird. I like Kaplan. You know, I don't love Kaplan, but I like them. They have, when they do percentages at current, they don't write 4%, they point 0.04 or 0.03, which I think the test would, I mean, unless somebody's seeing it differently, I don't think the test is putting 0.04 as a percentage. I think they're putting 4% or 4.2. I do not think they're putting 0.04, but that's what Kaplan does. That's why I think sometimes they don't edit their questions. Or it's automated. It's very weird. But so here's what I'm saying. Kaplan is hard. And if you've been studying since February and you're in the 60s and you're not above 70 yet, and that's been what? February, end of February, was it? Okay. It's last week of February. February's like 3 days long. So March, April. So 2 months. And you're getting 66s. Dear, if you're not forced to take it next, guess what I'm going to tell you to do? What do you think I'm going to tell you to do? I think you know that I'm going to tell you should take a week and just read the book again. Or get a different fucking book. Go get STC. Go get Achievable. Not Past. You can do Past Perfect. That's just that hard. Training Consultants I wouldn't do. But yeah, I think those would work. So I think if you want to get another copy of a book, if you can't find one, you don't want to buy one, just reach out to me. Shoot me an email. Maybe I can scare one up for you. Okay.
Ken, what I'd be more curious to know about is how much Gear Grinder is studying per day, and if he's skipping days in between. Because I think if you start expanding it out too much, then you're never going to move forward.
100%. If you take more than 5 weeks to take your first attempt, you're asking for trouble.
Yes.
Now again, it happens, right? Because at work, I have people that they have parties, and like May and June is tough with my younger students because they'll have fucking weddings. Okay. But if this gets in the way, that's fine. But you should be 4 to 6 weeks max before your first attempt. And again, if something happens and it stretches to 7, fine. But that means you're taking too long and you're going to start burning out. So, Jeff had a good question. How long are you studying each day? Are you taking days off? What are you doing? And how are you studying? But on that note, if I have a heart attack now and die, I need you to just read the book one time before anything. Okay. And then if I'm dead, Jeff will answer your questions next week. Okay. Okay. Now. Oh, hold on. We've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that, Yari.
There you go.
That is outstanding. Everyone's asking. I can't wait to see you tomorrow in the group. That is outstanding. She gets a longer one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena. Dala tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para.
Boom, there it is. Awesome. Yari, here's a question I ask everyone. Congrats, motherfucker, right? Any surprises? Okay, let me get back to this one now. Christy, sorry, I know I got you and then I pulled it away. Okay. And Jack's a solar guy? I will. Okay, so now. Yeah, so so you should just, here's my thing. Always move on. Take one test, move on. Stick and move, little Muhammad Ali. Stick and move. Take the test, whatever you get. If you get under 70, reread the chapter, move the fuck on. Read a test. If you get over 70, move on. If it's under 70, read the chapter, move on. Always moving. Don't, because here's the problem. You're going to run out of questions, and then your score is going to go up because you're memorizing questions. And then your score goes up. Oh, I know it better, and you might not. So I would focus on just moving. I would stick and move. Okay. Now, okay. Yeah, okay. So find my quick and easy video. Again, here's the other thing. Here's where the problem is. Again, I like Kaplan, but this is what they did. Jeff is registered in New York. He has a cousin in New Jersey who was driving to Pennsylvania, who then spoke to someone and called them while they were in Delaware, but then he paid them in West Virginia. And then his sister was in Florida, called up and wanted to do a trade. But then they sold something to a hedge fund in Connecticut. What's the bus driver's name? That's literally how their questions go. Okay. So yes, the IA registration shit for Kaplan is like a path down to hell. Okay. So if you're getting it wrong because you can't follow their convoluted logic, you're fine. You're going to be fine. If that's where you're under, but I still say reread it again. Maybe get STC. Maybe buy the STC supplementals and see how that goes. You'll like them. Yes, it's fucking money, like $67. But however, I have links for both Achievable. That's another thing. Don't forget, guys, Achievable is a great way to learn this. Even if you have a vendor already, they're awesome because they teach us stuff better than anyone else. And they have a tutor bot on their website. Okay, so now, which isn't that hard. So just focus on reading that. If you want to get Achievable, I have a link for that. If you want to get STC, if you do the STC supplementals, I have a link where you can get 15% off. Okay. Jack the Solar Guy. Okay. Fossil Fuel Man. Okay, so now let's go over it. Let's see over it. So exempt transactions, okay? Now I have a video on this, which is a great video where I compare. I think it's called Can I Sell a Security? But I'm going to talk about it now. If you want to sell a security in a state, it must be one of three things. I'm big on the power of three. I love three because three is easy to remember. It must be one of three things. One, registered, which is qualification or coordination. Two, exempt, which means you can, remember, here's the thing. If a security is exempt, it can be sold without registering, but that has nothing to do with you. If you're an agent, you got to register. If you're an IA, you probably have to register, unless there's an exemption. The exempt security has no bearing on you, whether it's exempt or not. So these are not hard, right? The video covers this. Any federal government, the US, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, United Kingdom, boom, who we now have a trade deal with. You saw that? They're gonna start falling like dominoes. Now, even if it's a shitty trade deal, it's a trade deal. Now, any kind of muni, US or Canadian, we'll see how long that lasts, but US and Canada muni. Because I always explain, and I've been saying this before he said it, I think of Canada as USA North. It's like our hat. Okay, so now, if it's a commercial paper under 270, if it's a bank, these are all people who issue bonds or stock, right? If it's a federal government, if it's a muni, Canadian or US, if it's commercial paper under 270 and a couple other things, if it's on an exchange, if it's a mutual fund, if it's a Reg D, if it's a charitable religious nonprofit, all of those things, there's others, all of those things are exempt securities, which means the security will never, ever, ever have to register at the state level, ever, under any circumstances. And that also means the advertising doesn't have to be filed with the administrator. Now, exempt, and remember, you have to be registered to sell them. Let's go to the other side. Exempt transactions. Exempt transactions are for securities that would normally have to be registered. So let's say I register, I go public with my Cat's Tutoring in New Jersey. I do a qualification. I cannot sell it in New York, New Jersey, Delaware, or anything. Even with Jeff's Coven driving to Pennsylvania, can't buy it. Now, again, I'm non-exempt, so I have to register wherever I go. But I don't want to register there. So are there ways for my security to be sold in other states? Yes. By the way, if you like what I'm doing, hit a like. And don't forget to share to someone who you think may be offended or might even learn something. Now, And if you haven't subscribed, what the fuck you doing?
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Right, exactly. And the little bell. By the way, turn on the notifications so you get my stupid motivation. If you turn on the notification bell, you also get my little motivation video, my little motivation shorts. I make new ones like every couple of days. So keep going. Fuck you, stopping for it. Don't quit.
One quick thing. When you mentioned commercial paper, I think it's 270 and under.
270.
270 and under. I think
and under, or 9 months, depending. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And $50,000 minimum denomination and top 3 credit ratings. But I don't think they're really just going to say commercial paper, and they'll say how long can it be or something like that. Yeah. So they're not going to go deep into it. But again, to exempt transactions are the security would normally have to be registered, like my stock. But because of the way you're doing it, you don't have to. So again, I'm registered in New Jersey, but let's say Jeff goes, "Ooh, I want to buy some of Cat's tutoring stock." Say he didn't work for the company. He could buy share. I'll get to his. Say he didn't work for the company. He could buy shares if he called up Jack, the solar guy, and said, "I want to buy some shares." That's unsolicited. Now, he can't buy it from me. He'd have to buy it from some poor other schmuck who bought it and was in New York. He can buy it from someone else. Unsolicited, non-issuer. If I sold it to institutions only, that's an exempt transaction. Again, normally I have to register, but under these circumstances, I don't. If I sold to an employee of my firm, boom, Jeff could buy it as an employee. He's a partner, officer, director, so all that shit's out there anyway. But if I sold it to an underwriter or I sold it in a private placement, all of these things are exempt transactions, which means I normally have to register, but because of the way I'm doing it, I do not have to. Okay, I hope that helps. And again, I have a video on it. Okay. No. They have 1 cube egg per exam. But if you want to buy Allison, if you're not buying more questions, I would say go to either Achievable, buy their program, it's fine, or go to STC and buy the supplemental. You get 4 new exams. You don't have to buy the whole package. I'm really trying to get them to sell their question bank, but they just won't do it. So I would say, if you really need more questions, which Kaplan has so many fucking questions for each test, and don't let go. I'll buy the 65 ones to make up for it because they're probably 90% the same questions. But go to STC and buy the supplementals. They have 4 supplemental exams. Training consultants, you can't just buy the questions. I thought you could, but you can't. Maybe you can for this. I don't know. And I think Past Perfect you might be able to, but I think they're hard. Okay. Okay, Jack Solar. There's another guy who just asked a question just like you. Okay. So what can the administrator do? So they can, this is it. I mean, they can't fine you. They can suspend, deny, revoke, or cancel you. They can investigate you. They can subpoena you. Subpoena always sounds like a dirty word, but they can subpoena you. They don't need a court order. So they have subpoena powers. I just like saying subpoena. That's what she said. So they can subpoena power, which just means they can ask you to come in and submit documents or testify in front of them. Testify. They can make you testify in front of them. Okay. So that's what they can do. They can. Now, here's the thing. They have jurisdiction in their state. They don't have jurisdiction outside the state, but they can investigate outside the state. So if any part of a transaction or you're registered in their state and you do something that affects in their state, they can investigate you outside the state. They can also they cannot force anyone to do anything. They can issue a cease and desist, which really has no fucking bite. But if you ignore it, they can go to the court and the court can get an injunction, which means if you just still keep doing what you're supposed to do, they can throw you in jail for contempt of court. They can try to get you to do a rescission, which is literally an IA or a BD, offering to buy the shares back plus a little bit of interest from the customer that you ripped off. Okay, that's most of what. I mean, there's obviously more to it, but that's a nice high level answer. Okay. Natalie Ford. Okay. I am. What part? Was that for the Facebook? Hi Ken, regarding if I okay. I'm torn on this. I don't know the answer to it. That's what's interesting. So I think, like, if you're working out of Idaho and the principal office in New York, I'm not sure you need to register in New York. I looked that up. I'll probably post it as an answer. I always think about it. I never look it up. Like I'm a big picture guy. Like in my mind, I think you don't. But then maybe, yeah, I mean, maybe you do. Because here's the thing. If you're an IAR for a federal covered advisor, you only have to register where you have an office. It doesn't matter the clients. So if you don't have an office anywhere, then yeah, you're working out of the main office. I will look it up. I'm not sure. I will definitely look it up. Okay.
Can you put the answer in the chat for that?
Oh, in the thing?
Yeah, to see how they phrase it, the answer to that question.
Yeah, let me see.
If they have that.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Hold on.
I'm thinking it's your place of business.
Right.
Where you do the majority of your, if it's out of your home.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't want to do it. Okay. Again, they say they have to register.
Both places?
No, that's weird.
Natalie, you stumped the master.
I know. I like to learn, though. Well, there you go. It says no. This says no.
No, at the headquarters.
Yeah, unless they work out of there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I'm shaking the magic 8 ball, and it says the answer is most likely no. So I can double check. What I found out, the best way to do this shit is to answer it twice and 2 different times. Okay. So now I'm going to say no because they must have an office somewhere. Okay. So, and remember, if they don't have an office somewhere, then yes, because they got to work out of somewhere. Okay. Erica, so Barry, you're probably fine. So here's the thing. I hate this question, but I'm going to answer it this way. If you've already read the book and you're going to start taking simulated exams at least by Saturday, okay? By Saturday, then I think you just got to focus on everything and then make sure you have the ethics and prohibited activities on. I can't stress that enough, that ethics and prohibited activities are not the biggest part of the test, but it's enough to fail you. Okay.
And I don't think in this situation, I don't think it's sometimes the knowledge. I think it's just getting ready to take the exam and feeling.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. Okay, here we go. Isabella. Jack, I'm going to skip you for a second. I'll come back to you, though, for the third question. Okay. So, Jack, you have 4 or 5 questions. I'm going to skip you, ask everyone else, and then I'll come back to yours. Taking the 60th. Okay. Covered accounts are just retail clients. Just remember that. Covered accounts means retail. That's all it really is. It's just retail. It's not institutional. It's the easiest way to remember it. I don't think there's any other way to think about it. Okay. So, okay. And on FINRA, it's for the old people, but I think for us, for NASAA, it's retail. Okay. Jack, how many questions you got, baby? I should count them up, and I'll get to them. Okay. Jack, you should just freaking join my Friday night class. You get them all done. Okay. Failed the 66 with a 66. Okay, that's fair. Okay, so now, yeah, we go over. Here's the thing. So the membership is a study group when we bring up everything. Like I have a video on the CE credits. I literally had somebody on my TikTok go, I passed the exam. She said, and I felt like I was failing. And she goes, that CE credit video that I did popped up on her TikTok the morning of her test. Now, my first thing is, why the fuck are you watching TikTok the morning of the test? But that's a different story. But it did pop up, and she said I got the answer right. So the CE credit stuff is definitely on there, okay? Equations, yeah, some people get like no math, some people get 4 or 5. Do you remember, Avery, do you remember what kind of math they were? Usually it's like current yield, total return, maybe a tips. maybe a future value, present value one, but usually not that hard. Okay. Oh, let me talk about this CE. In case you guys are taking the test, you got to know this because you may not get it, but a lot of people are. Continuing education. If a state adopts it, you have to do it every year, and you have to do 12 credits. 6 on ethics and 6 on products. 12 total. If you take more, you don't get to roll them over. That's just you're stupid. If you have the 7 or the 6 or whatever, and you do the FINRA continuing ed for the year, you can use that towards 6 of the product ones, not the ethics. So the ethics, you have to do one written for the IA, for NASAA. But for the products, if you do the FINRA one, it's considered good. So again, annual, 6 products, 6 ethics, total of 12, cannot roll it over. If you take a FINRA one, you can use that toward the products, but not the ethics. There it is. And up to 6 of them. Okay. Boom. Okay. What? I'm all the way out in South Africa. That's great. Maybe Elon will see me. Okay. I like it. International.
Okay. You're like Pitbull.
Yeah, exactly. Except for he's cool. Okay. Oh, look what Gear Grinder said. Read the book again. By the way, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Okay. And camera, let's get that 63 done, baby. Let's get it done. Okay, Trayvon, you start with the SIE first. What's great? I hope you're still here. I mean, I'm only 22 minutes behind. So Trayvon, hope you're still here. You start with the SIE. Let me know if you see him pop up that he's here. So Trayvon, if you're here, answer, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Start with the SIE. Now, here's the great part. You can take the SIE and the 66 before you even start. The SIE is like a basic skills test. It's not easy, okay, but it's a basic test. Then you can take the 66 one, which works for the states, okay? The 66 allows you to be both a broker-dealer, which is a firm that executes transactions, and an IA that gives advice and charges for the advice. With the 66 and the SIE, you can do them on your own. If you want to take the Series 6 or the 7, you have to get sponsored by a firm to do that. So if you want to get into the business, take the SIE first. That's the best one. I have a bunch of videos on there. There's a lot of free resources, stuff like that. Next, then get the 66 and start applying. Once you pass the SIE, start applying for jobs. Because one, it's a leg up over some people. And then if you can get the 66, that's a huge leg up over people because then they're not worried about it as much. Okay. And don't worry, Jack, I will get you. Okay. Please, and I was going to say this now. Oh, that's so funny. Look what Jake said now that he passed the exam. He has too much time. Oh, I got too much time in my hands. Right. Okay. It's crazy. So now I'm going to get back to you. So Gear, if you don't want to read the book again, find a new industry. No. So first, if you really feel struggling, go get the SDC book. I can probably find one for you. If not, open it up on a PDF if you can and get Speechify. It'll read the fucking thing to you. All of these vendors, I mean, not the vendors, but there's always free apps out there that are reading to you. But Speechify does a good job because I think the AI gets the context and reads it in the way it should be. It's kind of nuts. Okay. Now, what's a repo agreement? Okay, a repurchase agreement is when the Federal Reserve, okay, the Federal Reserve wants to help the economy. Let's say it's contracting. It's called quantitative easing, accommodating, not what they're doing, not what they said the other day, quantitative easing. They're trying to so they're going to lower rates and do repos. Repos are what they're doing is they're going to buy the treasuries from the bank on, like, say, a Friday. Let's say a Monday. They buy it on Monday for like a price. Then they buy it from the bank, and then the bank agrees, to buy it back from the Fed 1, 2, 3 days later for a little bit more than they spent. So if I buy it from a 900, you're going to buy it back from me in 3 days at 901. It's written in the agreement. But what happens is I'm putting money into the bank. So then you can lend that money out. I know it sounds like they can't lend it out for 3 days, but they're going to lend it out. They have cash they're going to lend out. And then what they do is they just use other cash to pay back the loan. And then they know that they're going to be buying more from the trade. It's like a constant wheel of money going in and out. So even though they're paying it back, they're selling new bonds to the Federal Reserve anyway. So it's a constant flow of money. So a repo is when the Fed is buying The Fed buys first, and then they agree that the bank is going to buy back for a little bit more. The way I explain it this way, let's say your kid's a wallflower, doesn't want to leave. Doesn't want to leave, get out of the house for the weekend. And you really want them to go out for the weekend because you just get out of the house. You haven't seen your wife in a month. Okay, so you want them out of the damn house. So you start buying stuff from them. You buy their laptop. You buy their, not their iPhone, obviously. You buy their laptop. You buy their sneakers. And you give them money on the agreement that next week they will buy it back from you. Maybe with a penny more. Maybe they have a job. But what it does is you're giving them cash to go out for the weekend. And that's what the Fed is doing. They're giving cash to the banks to spend and lend, okay? And then they pay it back in a couple of days. That's a repo. Hope that helps. Okay. Balti, you don't need luck. Okay. You do not need luck. Okay. You're going to rock this thing. Now, who's texting me? Nobody. Okay. My phone's burning up. Okay. This is a good one. I am a big fan of studying in the morning. I don't like people doing both before and after, but Jake, you're an animal, right? I'm a big fan of people studying in the morning, not so much after. If they do the morning, do one. Okay. Okay. I have a person panicking, wants to talk. Okay. Now, okay. Balti. Okay. Now, you're going to rock this thing, right? Tell me you're going to pass. Anyone taking, I need to see you guys say I'm going to pass. I like seeing that on there because I like seeing how you guys say it. So please, somebody tell me you're going to pass. Balti, especially you. Okay. Feels like I'm far behind, but there's not a lot of chats. Okay. Okay. So here, so Howie. So I don't like pushing my tutoring in here, but I will talk about it. So most tutors, like what I do is there's kind of 3 or 4 ways to do it. One, you come in and we just work. I have some people, and I try to tell them to do a lot of the work on their own, but it is what it is. Where I just walk them chapter by chapter. I walk them through it. I don't like doing that. I mean, it's fine, but it's expensive, and it's good for my pocket, but not good for my morality, okay? So I will do that with people, okay? Now, the next one is I tell them, like, you're at 10. I say, create a hot list of stuff you want to go over, and then we hammer through it. The good thing is I let you record it. I have an AI that records a lesson, so it tells you a summary, it's a transcript, and it gives you the action plan at the end. And what's very cool, even if it's an hour-long lesson, there's a search bar. So you can type in, when did they talk about this? Boom, it'll take you that part of the video. It is outstanding. AI is going to take us all over. Okay. Now, did you see that robot that went nuts? In Japan, it was in China. It was an autonomous robot, and it just kind of went wacky. Literally Terminator. Okay, so now, the third thing is when we get closer, a lot of times we take tests together. Like you all bring up questions or your questions, and we'll go through them, or I'll even review your questions to make sure that you're understanding it the right way. I don't care what materials you use. I work with Notman, Kaplan, Achievable, SDC, anything you got. Because here's the thing, it doesn't fucking matter. The material is the material. I'm not worried about what vendor I take. Look, I think Past Perfect and Kaplan are too hard. I think Achievable is right around there, and I think SDC is right around there. Training consultants, I'm not a big fan of, but whatever. But it doesn't matter. The material is the material. So I don't mind if you one vendor or not. I don't really give a shit what vendor you use. Okay. 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 Okay, that's fine. So, Gary, that's fine. So, there's 2 hours every morning. Just try to read as much as you can. Shoot me an email. I'll try to get you a book that's a quicker read. Okay. That's fine. 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 is the most. Okay, here we go. So, Yari, a little past. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. That's normal stuff, right? Yeah, that's not so bad. Yari, I'm so happy for you. Now, look at this. Yidget, he passed, but he felt he got scammed. Why? You should want Yidget. If you're on here, you should feel that you passed though, which is a good thing. But you should feel good. Option questions should be the goal. You want option questions. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna. Oh, boom. That's awesome. But yeah, listen, all of my students, this is the one thing that's pretty consistent. They wish the entire test was options. They really do. All of my students wish the entire test was options. Now, okay, so now what are we asking? How to get the supplemental exemption for STC for 7. Let me do this. Hold on. If you have Kaplan already, let me see if I can work this way out. Let's see. I might have to find a video, an older video. Let's see. See if it's in here. Here we go. Here is the link for STC, guys. Okay. And don't worry, solo guy, I haven't forgotten about you. I did, but I'm going to pretend I didn't. Okay. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Okay. So that's the link for STC. Let me catch up. Okay. So there you go. So if you want to buy this, just buy the supplemental exams from STC. They're outstanding. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Andrew Den. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I agree. The 63 is a speed test. 100% the 63 is a P test. A speed test. A speed test. It is absolutely a speed test. I always got to play it at least through the funky town.
I have a question for you about this.
What?
I have a question for you relating to this
sure.
comment here. What would you say is the max amount of time you should spend on any one question?
On the 63?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. The 63, I do the video on this. It is absolutely a speed test. Like, it's not like go fast. You should spend no more than a minute per question. Because that's the problem, is that the other exams give you like a minute, 20 minute, 30. If I've done the math right, I think you get a minute 15. Which is tough. It's not, and some of the questions are goddamn novels. Like that question I put in there, sometimes they look like that. It's crazy. So you got to make sure when you're doing the practice, because he's right. Read every question, read every damn question, read every damn word. But if you see a really long question, you might have to throw it in the mark for review. You really might, because it's just hard not to. It's hard to, sometimes if they're really long, you don't want to give up 5 questions for one. So that's awesome. Okay. Robert Parks, Bobby Parks. That's awesome. Where are we going? Oh, we're dancing. Robert, he called, you know why he calls me Adrican? I had to ask him about it because of Star Wars.
Really?
I guess I'm Darth Vader before he became evil. What's the guy? Anakin, right?
Anakin's good, yeah.
It's okay. Oh no, sorry. I think it's Adrian Ferrari. It's from Rocky. So I'm the chick. She was tough, even though she died. Okay. Every will see you. Okay, good. Okay. Leonard, here's my thing. As a standalone by itself, I get maybe STC, but I do love Achievable to teach the stuff. So my perfect thing is, and only because STC doesn't sell questions, get Achievable and buy the Kaplan questions. I have a group that I teach in Florida. They use Achievable and then they use the Kaplan questions. And it is like a fucking, like before I started teaching them, I do like once a week. They were in the 40% pass rate. They're in the 75% pass rate now because I started doing that. And I started teaching them once a week, and they ask questions. It's a great. Now, how this is going to be the tough one. My class, she goes, can you do a class on Monday? I'm like, sure. I do it like once a week. And Achievable is sponsoring it for them. So they go, can you do Monday? I'm like, sure. She goes, can I call you? I'm like, okay. And she goes, well, it's not just for Florida. This one's for the entire firm. So it might be about 500-600 people. She said, I just need you to know. Because usually I'm looking at 20 or 30. I don't want to be like, she said, you're going to see like 300 people asking questions. I said, you need to have the managers like filter out questions because there's no way I'm going to answer 300 people's questions in an hour. And I talk fast, but I can't talk that fast. And it's mostly just about like how to study, but let's see how it goes. It should be fun. Okay. But it's not just me. She's going to introduce it. They do like a monthly call with all 400 500 and best all the people studying, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So Leonard, I got that. Okay. Yeah. So Devin, did you? I think you said you. Think you passed. Okay. Hold on. I think Devin. I think you. Hold on. Let me get to Johnny. Johnny McCurdy. Nice. Irish name. Actually, an Irish name. I'll give a quick one.
You'll never take me alive.
I just got demonetized by playing that. Okay, that's awesome. No, so it's worth it. Okay, so John, that's awesome. I know, I love that song. I have as we talked about last week. Mashups are my thing. Okay, Devin, if you're scoring, okay. Wait, hold on. Where are you? Hold on. Yeah, it's using STC. If you're studying all day, you should be fine. Just make sure you read the book first. I know they're going to press you not to. Read the book first. Spend 3 or 4 days reading it, maybe 5 days. Then start. Don't take notes. Just read through it. If you really want to help yourself, join my membership. Join the options class. I promise you it'll help. My options will make you wait. That'll save you hours and hours and hours of studying, because my options are so good they'll make you cry. Okay. Now let's get to this one. So Ever Ramadan. If you just want to do you're right up Jeff's alley, right? You read that one. Jeff's like, yes, manna from heaven, right? So if you're just going to be, just get the 65. Just get it. Figure, what do we say? 4 to 5 weeks. So you should study if you can study all day, it's 4 weeks. If you can study, 2-3 hours a day, then maybe push it to 5 or 6. But focus, watch my videos, read the chapter. But as I tell everyone, when you first start studying, you got to read the chapter first. That's the first thing you got to do. Read the books first, watch the videos, then start doing questions. But you can do the 65, because you can't do the 66 unless you get the 7. If you're only going to go to the IA side, then yes, get the 65. And the good thing is, if you get that, and then you go, I want to do something else, you can just bang out the SIE 7, because you're sort of there anyway, and then you're good to go. Okay. So Devin, it's going to be tough to switch over, but if you have 18 days, it's Edward Jones. He usually gives everyone 19 days per test. Okay. Let me get to the bottom, then I'll go Jackson Solar guy. Okay. Howie, no, it depends, right? So if it's through each chapter, that's usually 1 or 2 chapters per. What do you call it? 1 or 2 chapters per session, because it's an hour. I can do, some of the shorter ones, but that's what I'm saying. So Howie, if you want to do that, I'm happy to do it. Just go to series7exam.org or email Jeff. You want to watch all my videos first, then do it. Take the free shit first. Join the membership on Friday nights, then meet. I'm happy to meet. I want every dime you want to throw at me, okay? But I want to make sure you're 100% efficient and you love. I want you to think, wow, I could have spent more. Okay.
Yeah, Howard, just send me an email, and if you have a minute,
and he can walk you through it. Absolutely.
Between the classes and tutoring.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, exactly. And that's the other. Yeah. Hey, thank you, John. Especially listening to my videos. Okay. So now let's go back to hit. I'm going to go backwards on solar guys, and then we're done. I think. Okay. If you see any big questions come in, let me know. I think. Okay. Okay. 403B 457. Okay. Now a 403B is a qualified plan, which is only for teachers and nonprofits, okay? Not really government, okay? That's a qualified plan, so you can't discriminate. Okay, 457 is a non-qualified plan. It's mostly for firemen, police, if you work for a community hospital, stuff like that. That's what that's for, and it can discriminate. The thing about the 457, which is kind of cool, you do not have to be 59 and a half to start getting the money. You can be 50 years old and get the pension out and not pay a penalty, because it's a non-qualified plan. So 403B is for teachers. It's called a teacher's annuity kind of thing, or a TSA, or a teachers are charitable, religious. And then a 457 is mostly for more government-y workers, police, fire department, maybe hospital workers, like nurses and stuff. Doctors make their own shit. And it's non-qualified, so you can retire early. Okay, that's one. Let me find the rest of his. Told you I wouldn't forget about you. Now I won't be able to find them now. Where are you, you bastard? I know there's a bunch in the beginning. Okay, here we go. Okay, so a covered call. Let's talk about this. Why would someone go a covered call if they're still bullish? Well, you're more neutral than bullish, but you are bullish because you own the stock, right? Covered call is buy stock, sell a call. So what if I bought a 50? What if I bought 100 shares at 50 and then bought a 60, sold a 60 call? I still want it to go up. I mean, it'll probably expire. But since I wanted to go up to 60 and I still make money, because remember, you own the stock, baby, you own the stock. So whenever you own stock, you're bullish. Whenever you short stock, you're bearish. Yeah, worse. If you own stock, the worst you'll ever be is neutral. Okay. So that's what. So cover call is buy stock, sell a call. And if you sell a call high enough, then you want it to go up. You want it to go up to that straight price and make that dough, maybe bring in the bag. Okay. Now, UGMA versus UTMA. Okay. UGMA and UTMA are both for children's accounts. So I ask this question all the time. What do you do if a 17-year-old walks into your room and wants to open an account? The answer is kick them the fuck out. This is my line. There is nothing good that comes from being in a room with a 17-year-old. Get them out of the room. So they're not people. They're not persons. Dead. Remember, what's not a person? Dead, dumb, and mentally incapacitated, or an under 18. Dead, dumb, don't touch. They can't open an account. They're not people, okay? So what you have to do is, you can't like open a joint account with their parents. They can't give you a waiver. Kick them the fuck out. Then they can come back with their parent, and the parent can open an UGMA or UTMA. See, I was getting there. My madness, I do have a method to my madness. So, UGMA versus UTMA. Both of them are child accounts, pretty much under 18. We'll get to the nuances. You set up an account with a custodian, both of them. You set up an account with one custodian, one child. You put the money in, it can never come out. It is irrevocable. Okay, irrevocable. Irrevocable. Now, I think I just did a video, a cringy poem video on trust. You guys should watch it now, especially you guys. I try to explain trust pretty well. I think I put it out either today or yesterday. Now, oh yeah, I did do it today because I call it In Can We Trust accounts. Okay, now, UGMA is very limited, that you can only put securities or cash in. No margin on either one of them. No margin on either one of these. No selling short on either one of them. UTMA has a little. You can do like collectibles. You can put property in there. You can put things that are not securities in there, and maybe other than cash. Both of them, no margin, no short selling. The child pays the taxes. If they earn money, they pay taxes on it. But the difference is UGMA pretty much. Now I've read it that it can change, but let's assume UGMA at 18, you have to take the money out. But there are some states that allow more. UTMA is up to 25. They call it age of majority, up to 25, 21 to 25. So the whole, I mean, think about it. If you have like money in an UTMA for a child and they get it at 18, that's a vastly different person than someone at 25. So at 18, they'll blow it, right? At 25, they may not. Okay. Let's get into this one. So I feel like I'm doing a lesson with Jack. Okay, so now, ERISA, again, there's a lot. I'm not going to cover everything, but remember something. ERISA is for employee retirement plans. So this is only for plans that are sponsored by a corporation. 403B, 457, 401k, SEP IRA, all that stuff. They have rules. The money goes in pre-tax, which means it's never been taxed. It grows tax deferred. And then when you take it out, you pay tax on everything. The earliest you can take it out without a penalty is 59.5. You normally have to take it out by 73, April 1st, the year after you turn 73, but there are exceptions, which you can look up. There's a vesting schedule, which means if you put money in, that's all yours. But any money that the company puts in for you, you have to wait between 3 and 5 years to access that money. Okay. If it's a 401k, you can borrow from it. That's most of the ERISA stuff. I know there's little tiny details like 401k, they can match, they don't have to. A 403b is for nonprofit and charitable. A KEO or a SEP IRA is for like a small owner, like a small independent owner, stuff like that. Okay. If there's one more, I'll do it. If not, I am out of here, baby. Okay. I nailed them all. I think I got them.
So
I took care of Jack. Okay. Not too bad. 9:05. Not so bad. Okay, everyone. Happy Thursday. I love seeing you guys. Again, my two favorite nights of the week are Tuesday and Thursday. Now, the first week of June, I'll do the Thursday. I will not be able to do the Tuesday, the first week of June. So it won't matter to you guys because you're not taking this exam. So just forget I said anything. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I knew. See, real soulful always comes in. As I'm saying goodbye. Okay. Gear grinder. That's awesome. Okay. I am not a fan of suggesting on anything. Okay. Again, you're taking the first final. Use that to figure it out. But now I'm going to go over two things. Well, I'm going to mention two things. Okay. Everett, thank you. Troy, thank you. Oh, Troy, right? So now, if you have two sections that you have to make sure you're good at, investment vehicle characteristics, and the rules and regs. I know that's 50% of the test, but the state rules. Much more about the advisor than the broker-dealer, but it will be there. Much more about the IAR and the securities and ethics. So under the state rules, it's IAs, IARs, broker-dealers, agents, securities, and ethics. That's a lot. Okay? That's the big one. Okay. I think we're good. You see, Troy's on our night now. This is a Thursday night. Okay. Because he passed the damn 7. Okay. Okay. Everyone, thank you very much. I love doing this stuff. And by the way, I want a little motivation video I want to watch. I want everyone to watch this to the end. This is this is my favorite video of how you guys are going to take the test when you take it. Please stay on, and then I'm actually going to shut it down right after it's over. Let's go, baby.
Jesse, how have you been?
I've been
great. I'm back, and you're fired. Hello, all. No need to run. Your fates have already been sealed. You're safe.
Oh, my God.
You're safe for now. Hello, nice to see you. Who's your best client?
Jesus. I represent John and Kate Pussy.
Where are you, Davies?
All right. I'm already packing to save myself the indignity.
That's too bad.
Ari, Jesus Christ! Did you lost your mind, Ari?
Now, where's Lloyd Lee?
Mr. Lee knew that you were coming, Mr. Gold. He decided not to wait for your arrival.
Now, why don't I believe you? Now, Lloyd, maybe you're not here. Maybe you are. Either way, you have nothing to fear because I'm not gonna kill you. I love you. You see, even though you betrayed me, you were the best.
Sorry, I just love that video. The only reason I'm back is because two people come on. Eric, thank you for coming on. And Joshua, congrats. See, link to the membership. Good thing we came back real quick.
Yeah, put it in there. Hang on.
I love it. By the way, I edited that whole thing. How great is that? I'm getting better and better at that shit.
Hang on.
That took me like 5 hours to do. To get the words to follow the people, it's fucking hard. So, Devin, they're putting the link to the membership in. Joshua, congrats. That's awesome. Eric, I'm glad you made it. We're so glad you made it. Okay. And I think that's it. Now I can get out of here. Everyone, have a good Thursday. Have a great weekend. Call your mom. Please send flowers or something. Don't ignore her. Okay. Anyone? And your wife or your girlfriend. And